From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on Lalate.
It's a big midday here on Lalate with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus of 2021 check. In this recording, we'll go over the first look of the reconciliation budget bill released in part. The first 645 pages of the reconciliation budget bill have been released, and it's all checks. Checks of all kinds, $4,000 for caring for the seniors, checks for hazard pay, checks for a new bike, checks for a car, checks for up to $51,000 paid over many years. I have all the incredible details in this breaking report, live from Santa Monica, California. Then we'll be cutting to the items that are also proposed for those checks that could likely be released later this week. Then the third cluster of checks, I'll be going over more as well. That includes money for seniors, money for workers, and other sums of money, including money for dental, vision, hearing, and more. A lot of checks in your first look recording, going over this reconciliation. And in a world exclusive delivered to this channel several weeks ago, I told you viewers are being told by Bernie Sanders' office that he's going to be giving you a stimulus check from IRS. You're going to see this from minutes ago. Sanders' office confirms yet again to a viewer of this channel, you're getting an IRS stimulus check. It's a world exclusive, details you're not going to hear anywhere else except here, because this is the Purple Power, you are the Purple Power, and this is Noon Time. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're good and wonderful. I'm live with you here in Santa Monica, California, and minutes ago, the confirmation message came in from yet another viewer who spoke to Bernie Sanders' office confirming he will be giving you a fourth stimulus IRS check as well, in addition to the incredible 645 pages of checks I'm going over in this first look recording. These are world exclusives you're not going to hear anywhere else. You're not going to hear them in print media. You're not going to hear them in broadcast media because they don't care about you getting money. They care about themselves getting money. I'm going to show you how they get all these incredible checks that are proposed now in the confirmed 645 pages of the nearly 8,000 page bill released, and what's coming up in the next cluster of items of pages that are likely to be released later this week, or if today. So much happening across the board. It's a big day with the world exclusive and the breaking news. Thank you for joining me. And this is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days news channel, live in America, 24/7. Coming up next is Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock, then the new Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock, and then Evenings LA, which will be taped after this breaking news from Sanders' office as well. Let's cut to the details starting right now. Wow, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot in this recording. In this recording, I'm going to go over the 645-page bill that is all checks for you that was released just days ago on Friday. This is the first now confirmed part of what could be upwards of an 8,000-page bill. It's just the first 645 pages, folks. Lots of checks, lots of massive checks for you. I'm going to go over that part of the bill. Then I'll go over the second cluster. Not yet put to writing, but many indications suggest this is getting to the finish line because there's been so much talk about it. I call it the second cluster. The third cluster are the items we've been hearing for several months that the president wants to have in there. They're likely to get in there as well. Then, of course, I'll be giving you that world exclusive. Sanders' office, yet again, over and over again, confirming to viewers this channel, there will be an IRS stimulus check in there as well. This is something you're hearing for the first time at noontime that you didn't hear this morning. Of course, you've been hearing the world exclusive. Lalate, the website, broke that world exclusive several weeks ago, but it's confirmed minutes ago again. Then we'll be cutting, I told you there's a lot going on in this recording. Then we'll be cutting to how they get this done, what date, when, where are they, where are they along the process. We'll be going over fifth stimulus because that is still on the burner, and we'll be cutting to the exciting details of several viewers getting big money on a fourth stimulus. What a big recording. Let's start first with those checks. 645 pages of them released on Friday. This 645 pages of checks, let me go over what the checks are first, and then I'll go over why 645 pages of about potentially an 8,000 page bill has been released. Here are some of the checks just to get right off the bat. Checks for hazard pay. Checks for up to $51,000 over 18 years paid monthly, annually, for every child of a household up to age 18 for a low-income family. Checks for students going to college, checks to buy a new vehicle, checks to buy a new car. This is for personal use. Also a bike for personal use. Also a vehicle for business use. Then also $4,000 to care for the elderly, $4,000 to care for younger people, and then lots of money for grants for college students. That's the broad stroke. Now let's go over the specifics. The big one that certainly has captivated country has been the hazard pay provision. Hazard pay manifested itself first in this channel in 2020, but got into the books finally in third stimulus. In what was called a modification or amendment to a long, old-standing tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit. What do they do under the third stimulus? They they broaden the eligibility, making more people qualify for it, lowering the age and lowering the income threshold, so that more people would get this earned income tax credit if they are essential worker. What did they also do? They rose the amount of money. They grew the number of money substantially. That was third stimulus, but it's not a lifetime. It's not a permanent change to the tax code. Fourth stimulus makes it permanent. Makes this permanent. So if you are an essential worker and you make less than approximately $25,000 a year, and you have that job, and you think you're going to have that job for the next 5, 10 years, you are going to love this. Absolutely incredible. One of the two items that came out of nowhere, not on my radar, I did not see them coming, and I just think they're absolutely incredible, especially for a lot of people that care for people at home. If you have an elder person at home and you care for them and you're the care provider, this just may be you. $4,000 a year. Wow. Up to $4,000 a year for caring for the elderly. Up to $4,000 a year for caring for children. This is absolutely astronomical. Where did this come from? It came from Representative Neal, who's head of the Ways and Means Committee on the House, who released this provision, these 645 pages on Friday. And it was his baby to put this in there. So this is incredible. You care for the elderly. This is you. Then lots of checks for purchases. So if you need a new electric bike, they will pick up the bill for 15% of it, even if it's for personal use. If you need a new vehicle, the federal government will give you $7,500 for personal use if it's an electric vehicle. At the moment, the top 3 U.S. auto manufacturers. There's a push on the way to include Tesla and foreign import companies as well. Then also, if you want to have a car for business use, there'll be another big payout for that. That number's not monetized yet. They believe it may be over $7,500. MSCs got in there. MSCs for children got in there. How much? $51,000. Yes. If you are a parent of a child and you're in a low-income household, you saw what happened to the third stimulus, $300 a month up to, for any child that is newborn up to age 18. But third stimulus is not a lifetime change to the tax code. This makes it a lifetime change, which means that if you're a parent in a low-income family and you have a child under the age of 18, you will get up to $3,000 a year, $3,600 a year, which is $300 a month over the whole duration of 18 years if you remain eligible. That's upwards of $51,000 paid monthly in proration over that incredible time. Then there's a lot of money for also students. They're going to make the Pell's grant completely tax-free, and then they're also going to give grants to colleges so that they can offer you free grants as well. There's other things in here which came out of nowhere that I just did not see coming. My radar didn't pick up these items either. In new incentives to rehab, modify, refurbish, or repair homes in poor neighborhoods. So if there's a home in a low-income neighborhood, they're going to give money for that as well. A lot of stuff. and that is the first 645 pages of what could be an upwards of 8,000 page bill. What I'm going to go over next is the next set of nearly 12 other items, and it's a lot of money. It could be upwards of $1,700 a week for some individuals. That is in the next cluster that we've been hearing for over 3-4 weeks every single day. Broadcast me and myself both believe it's getting done. They're just finalizing the wording because it's so detailed and they've spoken about so much. The third cluster is the one that we've been hearing for a few months, and the president's pushed for it. So that's likely to get in there. That's coming up else in this recording. What is this 645 pages? What does this mean? Let me explain to you what it is. The House is the lead author. That confirms my reporting over the last few months. We never knew who was going to be the lead author. I'd always said it was going to be the House Ways and Means Committee, or the House subcommittees. They are. So the House subcommittees release these first 645 pages of what will be a bill that is in the thousands and thousands of pages. Why 645 pages only release? Because these are the items that the Democrats on the Senate and the House side have agreed to. These are the easy ones. These are the ones, oh, no fight. I'm done with that. That's fun. Write it up. The way they're legislating this is the following. The Democrats are having meetings behind closed doors, not on C-SPAN, not broadcast media, over lunch, over the telephone, saying, what do you think about this item? Once they agree to a certain item, then they say, go write it up. Go write it up. These are the 645 items they've agreed upon. So these items are over the finish line. These items, the Senate Democrats and the House Democrats have agreed upon. They are over the finish line. They said, go write it, done, deal, sign, seal. So the other two clusters coming up in a second, they haven't yet finalized. Doesn't mean they're not going to give it to you. They just haven't finalized how to do it, whether it's 15% or 20% or $1,700 or $1,900. They're still going over the calculations of it. A lot of details. And I know you want to hear about that world exclusive, so let's get right to it. This channel has a lot going on. I know there's a lot for you to see on this channel. People getting money on cutting to the third stimulus a second. How do you get $36,000, as one viewer got overnight, going over the money that's for stimulus, but also advocacy. This channel, Purple Power, is about advocacy. And it has been that way since 2020. I had told you over the last 8 weeks to advocate for a stimulus check. And in a world exclusive, which I'm going to detail later in this recording, I told you that Senator Sanders' office had told viewers of this channel, starting with Brother Joshua, that he will be giving you an IRS stimulus check in addition to all these other checks. Minutes ago, another viewer had that conversation with Sanders' staff. And minutes ago, in a world exclusive you're hearing only on Lalate at noontime right now, is that Senator Bernie Sanders' staff again confirmed today that he is giving you an IRS stimulus check on the Senate side for the Senate Democrats in the fourth stimulus reconciliation budget bill. I called Bernie Sanders and his secretary, and they said they're doing a fourth stimulus check. I said, this is what I need, and I need these checks. I need to progress. And I talked about my water and everything, and I told her, and she said, okay, they are doing a fourth. Reports wonderful viewer Donnie, who gives me that detail just minutes ago after his conversation with Senator Sanders' office. There you go. More about that and that IRS stimulus check later in this recording. World exclusive, you're only hearing on this channel right now at noontime. Let's cut now to the second cluster of checks in that fourth stimulus recon. What are these? These are ones that have not been written up in bill form yet. So they're not in the first 645 pages. These are the items that broadcast me and myself think will get to the finish line because we've heard them from the Democrats all this last week and this week as well. These are items that we think that are not yet in bill format because they're figuring out the numbers. They want to do it, but they don't know the number of it. Here are the items. I'm going to go slowly through them and explain to you what they mean because they are a lot of money. The first one is expansion of the paid leave and expansion of the medical leave. What is that? Paid leave is if you have a job and you have to stay home, for example, because your spouse is pregnant, a wonderful occurrence. Well, they will give money to the employer to give that money to you. And that money will be a lot. More about the amount of money in just a second. Paid medical leave is where you have to stay home because of a medical issue for someone in the household, not COVID. This is a permanent change to the tax code. So the family member could have broken their leg, or could have the flu, or could be food poisoning or something. You have to stay home from work. How much money is this paid? Again, we don't have the numbers yet. But in the third stimulus, if you were with this channel in January this year, we saw what they were proposing at that time. They were looking at anyone under up to $70,000, $1,700 a week. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So let's say you only make $30,000 a year. Then you would split it in half. You get $800 a week. Also a lot of money. So how does this work? It's based upon the amount of money you make from a job, and the employer would have to pay you this money provided by the federal government to the employer to stay when you have to stay at home because of a wonderful, charming event like that's happening in your family, or something unexpected like someone in the family is sick. It also would cover you if you don't have a family. So let me make that very clear. If you have to stay home, let's say you broke your leg or something like that, then that is paid sick leave as well. And it's a lot of money. All right, expansion of the child care program. Then extension of the household tax credit, including the enhanced child tax credit implemented during the pandemic. Expansion of the Medicare benefits to include dental checks, vision checks, hearing, and reduction of the Medicare eligibility age. I cover that more in the third part of this video, coming up in just a few minutes. Then extension of the affordable care subsidies, and then here come the money for education. If you want to obtain an education or you want to provide an education to someone, there is going to be a lot of free money for this. Starting with this first one, pre-kindergarten, totally free. Checks to send a child to pre-kindergarten, universally free. Then you want to go back to school and learn a trade. Maybe you don't want to get a degree, but you want to learn a trade. Maybe you want to learn specific certain thing. Let's say you want to learn a foreign language. Tuition-free community college. The federal government will give you money to go to college to learn. Absolutely wonderful. Then there's a lot of other items that we don't know the details of. For example, green energy transportation. They'll be giving money towards transportation. And then, of course, my viewers on the East Coast that have endured Ida and all those other hurricanes and tornado activities in recent weeks, weatherization. They'll give you rebates if you want to weatherize. I don't know if that's the correct verb, but if you want to weatherize your home. For weatherization of the home, they will give you incredible checks for weatherization of your home. Not to say it's only the East Coast. It could certainly be California as well. And there you go. That is the second cluster. So much happening. And I'm zooming through this because I know there is a lot in this recording. I'm going to be cutting in the third part of this in just a second to the third cluster checks, more back to that IRS check, and moreover what they're doing and where they're doing it, because that's very important as well. Separating the recon from the bipartisan, that's coming up in a second. But first, I want you to get some money today. Don't you want some money today? Well, congratulations to Lorica, Suelan, Patrice, and Jen, who I congratulated overnight as 4 new success stories to the Purple Power. They all got money from third stimulus. The great news is that while we're looking at fourth stimulus and we're going over the 645 pages of the fourth stimulus, third stimulus is still paying today. If you haven't gotten every last penny from third stimulus, I'm going to show you how to get that right now. And Lorica, she got a $75 MasterCard in the mail rebate. Wonderful because of this channel. She says, thank you again for all you do. I want to thank you for the LA alerts. They keep me on time. Thank you for all you do and for the new Purple Patrol. It was so much nicer being in the chat with others and not having so many trolls jumping in. Thank you again. Well, very kind. Suelan, who also goes by Stay Lowry on Instagram, says, I was approved and I'm getting for Snap and I'm getting $523 a month in October. Wow. That's $6,000 a year over than that. I love you. Thank you for all you do. Wonderful. Oh, she's also getting $5 a month for internet. Patrice says, hello, I've been following you for over a year and I love your YouTube channel. I want to thank you. I just got approved for EIDL Vance and targeted EIDL. I'm getting $15,000. You and the community you built, you're amazing. Well, thank you. That's really kind. And then Jen. Wow, look at Jen's numbers. She says, "Hi, Lalate. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because of your channel, I've been able to receive $37,900 in rent." That, my friends, is the largest payout we've ever seen in this channel for rent. $38,000. I could not have done it without you, Jen says. I've been able to help my brother, sister, and several other tenants in our community with rental assistance because of your channel, Lalate. I'm Chastity Love on YouTube, and I'll continually push your channel to anyone who listens. My husband works with government officials and has continually pushed your channel, Lalate, as well. It's not only informative, motivating, and directly needed for our public. Thank you, Lalate. You have touched so many lives. I really appreciate that. We're going to go over the big money that you can get right now: rent assistance, utility, mortgage, and food right now. We're going to go a little bit faster through it because of the running time of this recording, because of the release of the forced stimulus. You understand that as this bill is released, I have to figure out how to condense some of the other subject matters that I love to cover as well. For the rent, you just saw Jen getting $35,000. For the utilities, Mark, who's one of the longtime viewers of this channel, you remember Mark, he's $50,000 Mark. He's the guy who got $51,000 for this channel. That Mark, yeah, that Mark. Well, now Mark's helping his brother-in-law. And his brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. That tops Johnny's $9,000 from the weekend. And we're not here to compete. I'm just trying to show you how the numbers are paying out more than ever before. His brother-in-law also got $21,000 for SNAP. That's the largest we have ever seen across this channel. And then we have people getting multiple sums of money. Let's go over how you get this big money right now. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. I'm going to show you some new places to reach out to. And I'm going to show you something else, a new video that'll help you as well. First, get that pen, paper, and cell phone ready. Here are the 6 places. Here are the introductory remarks I'm going to show you. First, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. Don't reach out to 1 of 6. Reach out to 6 of 6. Second, listen to the keywords I say. It helps get people approved. Number 3. Each place has different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. Number 4, I'm going to show you some backup places for the first time in this video, and then I'm going to have another video that shows you how to do those backup places. All right, here you go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, 1, city housing authority, 2, county hall, 3, county housing authority, 4, state hall, and state house authority. If you need to hear that, you can always replay it, but I'll say it one more time. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage, or utility assistance because of COVID. Now, if you've reached out to all 6 of 6 and you have not been able to get anything but no's, then guess what? There are nonprofits that paid a lot of money to viewers of this channel in 2020 when they applied with them, calling them up on the phone, and also in early 2021. And those nonprofits were what I really called on this channel Purple, and or part of Purple. And what are those nonprofits? Here they are. They are Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, Community Action, United Way, and Salvation Army. They help for rent, utilities, mortgage, and some other items. Finally, it's important but obvious to say, for utilities, call all your utility companies. If you have 5 utility companies, water, gas, heating, oil, telephone, call all of them. Utility assistance because of COVID. And there you go. Meantime, joining the lineup of programming at night will be the return of the early 2021 show, Purple, in which I go through these nonprofits. So you'll be starting to hear those nonprofits. If you need more educational background on how to do it, it's coming back tonight on this channel. Also, you need to get SNAP. SNAP you get from Department of Agriculture. SNAP pays a lot. You just saw this on this video. People getting $21,000 like Mark's brother-in-law. Well, now that brother-in-law is sitting on top of $26,000. SNAP you get from Department of Agriculture by picking up the phone. The eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. And how much does it pay? Well, Mark's brother will be raised from about $21,000 to $26,000 because of a new ruling 2 weeks ago from Department of Agriculture that everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime automatically starting in October nationwide. There's also the refund check coming back from your state due to overpayment of unemployment benefits. That's coming by direct deposit. And the check coming from the federal government for the refund check on those unemployment benefits you pay taxes on. Average payment is about $1,200 to $2,000. More about that in yesterday's recordings. But boy, are you ready for the third cluster of checks? I am. The third cluster of checks and more about Bernie Sanders staffers' comments to a viewer of this channel. It's coming up in just a second. It's right after this commercial break. Here's a little bit about the community page. And in the final 15 minutes of this video, we got a lot more to cover. Another cluster of checks, the IRS check, and when these and how they get different parts of the bill together so that they have a complete bill and we see it in front of us. Finally, when would the Bernie equation come in? Would it come in on the Senate side or the House side? It's details you're seeing for the first time at noontime, and it's coming up right after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate. And the excitement continues right now at noontime as Bernie Sanders staffer confirms to yet another viewer that there will be an IRS check in the fourth stimulus recon. I have the details of that in a world exclusive now at noontime in the second half of this video. Then we'll be cutting to the third cluster of checks. That's a lot of checks for seniors, a lot of checks for workers. I'll be going over that third cluster and when it could be released in bill format as well. I'll be going over what is the difference between a recon and a bipartisan and how it gets finished. And I'll be going over the totality of all these checks and why you're going to do so well. During the commercial break, someone asked, can you repeat that thing about the overpayment? Yes. So if you're overpaid unemployment benefits from your state due to computer error, it's coming back to you automatically from direct deposit. The federal government has ordered that returned to you. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you for making yesterday's yesterday's programming slots our most watched in several months, and today's numbers have absolutely been through the roof. I really appreciate all the love and the incredible Purple Patrol. Like the video, 3,000 likes. Every like helps, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Let's go over very briefly fifth stimulus, because guess what? That is happening as well. A lot of stimulus packages in one recording. The president proposes, and now it's getting it done. In September, it would start drafting and hopefully out for a vote by November. First, they'll raise your benefit limits up, then remove the asset limit. Add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. What will involve? First, they'll raise your benefits up, then they'll apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark's inflation. And then the inflation rate will be tied to what's happening in December. A lot of reports this morning suggesting that inflation may not be as severe as initially thought. That's better news, but still would raise your benefits. Then they'll remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. Fifth stimulus check, will there be a fifth stimulus check next year? House Ways and Means Committee represents. And finally, if you haven't become a member, you need to do so, because guess what? First, second, and third stimulus is still paying. It's still paying, and paying a lot. a fortune. And you saw Jen, she got $36,000 this week. You saw 4 success stories. I have another one as well. If you have a success story, send it to me on private message on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I have ones lined up already for tomorrow, so send me more. I'll include you in the list. And I'll send out a personal congratulations on social media for you as well. Daily, I deliver to the viewers, the members of this channel, a breakdown of all the big monies that you can get under first, second, and third, including rent, utilities, food, and internet. These sums of money are there, and they've been there since day one. In fact, we got a preview of them before the bill was written, just like how we're doing forced stimulus right now. We're getting a preview of what is in this forced stimulus recon, because then you focus and you say, yeah, I want to get that. I'm ready to pounce. So consider becoming a member today. And with that, let's go into the final 15 minutes. And the third cluster of checks and the Bernie IRS stimulus check starting right now. So the third cluster of checks is items that the president has mentioned and the House and Senate Democrats have mentioned a lot. And while they haven't mentioned as much this last few days, most believe it's going to get in there. I think they're going to get in there, and I'm going to go over some of the analysis for you. One of the items the president specifically had a meeting about, so that's why I think it's so significant that they're going to get in there. Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy, checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for seniors like lowering the eligibility age for Medicare, something we talked about earlier, checks for dental, checks for vision, and checks for hearing. How does the internet work? They're going to give fortunes to the local cities so that they can run their own internet company. And so it won't be particularly hard for you to get this free internet. They may just sort of roll it out and they'll say, hey, do you have proof that you're a resident here? Here's the password, sign in, and it'll just totally be free. That's an example of something that's not really application-based, but is not really automated. You just at least have to figure out what the code is to get into it. Then the cheaper prescription medication is something that's absolutely really automatic and instant. The way they envision this is one of the ways the president is trying to sell this entire package, which is you literally go to the pharmacy 1 week, and the next week when you go back, it's cheaper. And you automatically see, well, my wallet, I didn't have to take as many dollar bills out of it as I did the week before. The idea is that a prescription medication you may have paid for $20 on Monday. Then when you refill it 2 weeks after this becomes law, then it may only be $4. And suddenly you're saving $16 in your wallet. There you go. All right, so now let's go over how they get this done, and let's also go over that IRS check. The IRS check or IRS stimulus check is a terminology which I've sort of modified in the last 48 hours because there are multiple checks and also monthly checks now confirmed in the first 645 pages of the reconciliation. So I'm adding the word IRS on top of it so we all know what I'm referring to. Bernie Sanders' staff has repeatedly told viewers of this channel that he's going to be proposing a forced stimulus check. It started several weeks ago, and in fact started over a month ago when other Senate Democrats said the same thing to viewers of this channel. I had told viewers almost 7 to 8 weeks ago, start picking up the phone, calling your Senate Democrats and advocate for a stimulus check. And WR, a longtime viewer of this channel, picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, and said, I need a monthly stimulus check. I want to advocate for one professionally, respectfully. And the staffer said, yes, Senator Chris Coons will be putting a monthly forced stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. There you go, world exclusive. But we didn't stop there. About 3 weeks ago, Bernie Sanders, who is the chairman of the Budget Committee on the Senate side, appeared in a quoted article and said, prior budget chairmen sort of like to do things within D.C. I like to get out amongst the people. What does amongst the people mean? It means he wants to hear from you. And I immediately told viewers, pick up the phone and call. Call and advocate for a stimulus check. A sentence that ends with a period, not a sentence that ends with a question mark. A sentence that ends with a period is explaining you and your situation, your family or your neighborhood or your town or your city. I need a stimulus check because my town is struggling. A lot of businesses have shut down. Or the pandemic, the Delta number of cases are rising. I really need it in this town. Tell your story so they hear your story and understand and can humanize to the situation. Do not ask lots of questions like, when is it? Where is it? How is it? What? No. You advocate for it. And that's what I told viewers to do. Lynn Glenn called, and Margaret called at the time, and Brother Joshua called at the time. Longtime 2020 viewer of this channel. Actually, longtime viewer of this channel, Purple Hawk, and 2020 volunteered for the community page. He was in the live chat earlier today as well. He picked up the phone over 3 weeks ago and called Senator Bernie Sanders' staff and said, I want to advocate for a monthly stimulus check, professionally, respectfully, and kindly. And the staffer said, yes, Senator Bernie Sanders will be giving you a monthly stimulus check. There you go. Senator Bernie Sanders' staffer had that conversation with Brother Joshua, and here was what was discussed. Monthly, somewhere between $1,000 to $1,400 on a monthly basis, and then for a duration of 3 to 6 months. Incredible, great news. A world exclusive you only hear on this channel. You're not going to hear it on other channels because they don't really care, or broadcast media. They don't care whether they get a stimulus check or not. They don't qualify for it. They make millions and billions of dollars a year and owned by overseas corporations. They don't care whether you get a stimulus check. So they don't care to do investigative reporting. I care that you get this money. And Brother Joshua cares that you get this money. He helped countless of you as a community volunteer for the community page all throughout 2020. He cares about you. That's why he made the phone call. Minutes ago, before going on camera, a wonderful viewer was on Twitter, and she said such a nice message. She said, I made the phone call. I was very nervous because I'm not a very vocal person, and I got a voicemail. I left a message, but I was so proud after I did that. I love that. I love that. I know a lot of people have problems advocating for things, and a lot of people are very shy. So I love that the person said, I overcame my shyness to say, I need it. I really need it. Well, guess what happened? Donnie, another longtime viewer of this channel, and his wife watch this channel 24/7, sent me a message after Mornings LA and before this broadcast. And guess what the message was? Bernie Sanders staffer, again, when Donnie advocated for a stimulus check, said, yes, Senator Bernie Sanders is putting a stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. Here you go. This is the message from Donnie to me minutes ago. I called Bernie Sanders' staff. Bernie Sanders and his secretary said they are doing a forced stimulus check. I said, this is what I need. My city needs it. I need it. I need to progress. And and my water and everything. And I told her, and she said, okay, they are doing a fourth. There you go. That is the true embodiment of the Purple Power spirit. Picking up the phone and saying, I need it. My community needs it. My town needs it. Every town, every community is different across this country, and everyone has a different story. People need to hear things. And remember, let's back up and understand the perspective. You may know Bernie Sanders because you've seen him on TV, you understand his history, but he's critical in this equation. Why? The first 645 pages that were released, that I just went over, are written on the House side by the House Budget Committee after an agreement between Senate Democrats and House Democrats. You see where this video is now progressing. I'm going to show you how they modify stuff. This is the House Democrats writing after Senate and House Democrats agree upon these first 645 pages of checks. But guess what? If they start the voting on the House side, which they're likely to do, then it goes to the Senate side. And they have something called a Senate vote-a-rama. Senators can add other things in there or grow the numbers. For example, let's say the paid sick leave is $1,700 a week. They can grow it to $2,000, or they can add something in there. And that's why Bernie Sanders, as chairman of the Budget Committee on the Senate side, is so critical, because he's later down the food chain, or down the time frame, I guess you'd say. After it starts in the House and goes over to the Senate, he can add stuff in there. And guess what? He can grow things as well. After he does and gets agreement of it, the House members are not going to take it out. House members don't say, you're spending too much money, I'm going to take out your money. No, they don't. The House members have no problem spending money. So if the Senate wants to add more money in, they're totally fine with it as well. There you go. So now let's understand the separation of recon versus bipartisan and where we are. Reconciliation has two parts: reconciliation procedural and reconciliation substantive. They've already agreed there will be a recon, and they've already agreed the recon will be $3.5 trillion. They already had that agreement in the month of June in private meetings. They already wrote it up as a bill, and they already voted for it, including Joe Manchin, in the month of August. So now what are they doing? They're doing recon substantive, which basically says, what are the terms and conditions? Okay, 15% off for an electric bike. No, I want 20% off. No, I want 29% off. $4,000 of care for elderly? No, I want $5,000 of care for the elderly. Well, let's change the time frame. That's what they're doing. They're going over the terms and conditions. The first 645 pages released because these were the easy items to agree to. As they agree to more items, then they start to release those other items as well. What do I believe? I do believe that those 12 items I went over with you, that second cluster, I think you're going to see those in written form very, very soon, if not in the next few hours or day. I think you could see these very soon. I think they're really just going over the nuances, the details of it. The third cluster may also be released at the same time as the second cluster. The reason why I'm calling them second and third is so you get them separated and distinctly, but it does not mean the third comes after the second. I think there's going to be a time in which they say, okay, we just got a lot of stuff done. We're all done here. Incredible details. What's important to understand is that not law, not full bill yet. And for anyone who just first heard the first 645 pages and didn't hear me say, it's the first 645 pages, not the whole 645 pages. Stay attentive, stay pushing, and stay motivated because people want to help you. I want to help you as well. For the meantime, get this big money available under third stimulus. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. This money is available for you right now. Coming up next after this is Afternoon to LA at 1 o'clock. Then the big new Afternoon to LA show at 3 o'clock. That was taped before this breaking news world exclusive about Bernie as well. On Evenings LA at 5 o'clock, I'll feature more about this world exclusive about Bernie. There you go. Advocate, educate, and be informed. What's important to understand is that the bread and butter of this channel is learning and getting. I launched this channel to explain to people how to get things. This is an educational channel showing you how to get an EID or an PPP or a PUA or an EF or an LWA or a SNAP or a PBT. This is what I do. I show you how to apply, how to get these sums of money. As we go through these items, I'm here to showing you not only the first look of the 645 pages in this broadcast, but I'm also going to show you how to get each of these items, one after another, until each and one of you have every last penny. Who would have thought the third stimulus would still be paying in September? But I'm here to get every single last one of you every penny you can, because this is LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family, this loving family, and thank you for the Purple Patrol in today's video. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, stay on this video. It'll automatically take you to Afternoon to LA starting at 1 o'clock. Stay informed because information's king, and stay smiling with LA.